8-goal thriller then. It finishes Real Madrid 5, Real Betis 3. What a game this was, Stevie. This was fantastic, wasn't it?
Well, unless you're a Real Madrid fan.
What do you mean? You score 5 off the back of beating PSG?
Listen, the bottom line is, when you're Real Madrid and you've got to score at least 4 to get the points, that isn't good. I mean, defensively, there's no question. We can talk all we want about, Madrid struggling recently to put the ball in the back of the net. But I'll tell you what, the way they defend, my goodness. And it doesn't matter who's playing or not. Varane might not have been playing in this game, but it makes no difference.
They won 5-3, though. Why do you have to be so negative about it,
Marcelo
Stevie?
Limsoff, of all the criticism Real Madrid have had to endure all season long, you take this one quite happily.
Hold on a second. When have we ever said anything other than, oh, well done from Real Madrid scored 5 this weekend? Because that used to be a norm, right?
But it's not been a norm this season. It's been anything but a norm this season.
But it hasn't been. But if you're Zidane, OK, you've got 5 goals and you've won the game, which you're supposed to. But if you're looking at your defence, thinking about what's going to come up with PSG, he's got to be a worried man.
Aren't you just comparing them to last season, which is unfair? As Shaka said, they haven't been putting in these sort of performances, certainly away from home either.
No, Dan, 100%. I'm concentrating on what's happening.
You're 2-1 down at half-time. You come back to win 5-3.
If you have to score at least 4 goals to win a game, that's a huge problem.
Gab, last week they could only manage that goalless draw against Getafe. This weekend, Barca get the win, but they weren't all sparkly, Barca, were they? But as we've seen so many times this season, they got the job done.
No, Dan, they weren't just, not only were they not sparkly, they were really, really flat. And compared to last week, this was the A team playing. I mean, even Andres Iniesta played just over an hour. This is very much his best 11, and you kind of feel as if Valverde said, all right, well, I've rotated, I've tried different things. Now I'm going to go, put out my best 11, get them 90 minutes together ahead of that big Champions League trip to London to take on Chelsea. It backfired. Whether they played with a handbrake on, whether they tried to manage the game, I don't know, but this was probably as poorly as we've seen Barcelona play, certainly in the victory under Valverde.
Can't argue. But I will say that at no stage in this game, as poor as I thought they were playing as well, sitting watching it, did I ever think that they weren't going to do something and win the game? I just never had the feeling that the outcome was going to be anything other than a Barcelona win. And of course, no surprise, the ball from Messi to Suarez is frightening.
Yeah.
So listen, if you can keep a clean sheet, as they seem to be doing, Barcelona.
Which is better, Messi to Suarez or Carvajal to Asensio?
Ooh, I'll tell you what, I think I'll just go with Carvajal. There were so many different things involved, but Messi's ball was just frightening.
Napoli, 1 clear of Juventus. Look at that, the gap between Juventus and Roma, 15 points. Gab Marconi, it's quite impressive, isn't it, when you take a look at the run of these two sides. We're waiting for one of them to blink, but neither at the moment are looking like faltering.
Yeah, it's remarkable. I mean, Napoli really on fire, played really, really well. Don't let that 1-0 scoreline fool you. And this was after some games before where they kept winning while perhaps they weren't playing quite as impressively. Juventus, in some ways, it's the reverse. Torino were poor today, but it was still a derby, still a very intense atmosphere. They lose Higuain after 10 minutes. You wonder what's going to happen. They already have to play Alexandro in the front three, and still. They get the goal, they gut it out, and they get their deserved 3 points. So it's just an incredible title race, and you're enjoying every minute of it.
No, it's without doubt with the best title race that we have in the big leagues in Europe at the moment. Looking at Napoli, they seem to be putting all their chips as well on the Scudetto after what happened in the Europa League midweek. Can they do it? Do they have the desire? Do they have the mentality to keep Juventus at bay?
Well, Dan, I'd say even before the Europa League, I mean, they played a very weakened lineup against Leipzig in the Europa League. All their eggs are in the Serie A basket. They've been very clear about this. I think they can do it. And now, obviously, they're all going to be Juve fans when they play Tottenham in the return leg because they want Juve to be stretched and have to play in Europe. But they seem to have this incredible resourcefulness. They've got this way of playing that, people really struggle, want to figure out what to do against them. And with Juve, there's only so much you can go along with substandard performances and sort of gutting it out or waiting for a moment. You're going to get a huge lift, obviously, if Dybala comes back to his current form. Higuain's injury doesn't seem to be so serious. But, the fact is, Juve are the team that are chasing.
Time for a bit of extra time. Let's get straight to it. The first week, best game of the weekend was, and then a sleeping emoji, suggesting not a lot happened this weekend. Surely, Real Madrid 5, Betis 3. It was a game, the best game, wasn't it? Oh, feel free to talk at any time.
Well, not like think about it. You just want to dive in and give you any old rubbish.
Well, no, but you've taken quite a long time.
Well, because you try to... See, you did it all during last week, to be honest. You were forcing things into people's mouths.
What was I forcing into your mouth?
I don't know, you were putting words in people's mouths.
What words?
Juventus were going to win, or Tottenham was going to win. That's just an example.
Right, okay.
And I just feel as though you were doing it again there. So I decided to take my time and think about it. How many questions are we getting there? Can we have one at a time? Which one do you want?
Juve or Tottenham?
Juve or Tottenham?
Yes.
I am going to go...
So Chelsea or Barca?
Barca. Yeah, you got to go Barca.
Obviously.
What do you mean, obviously? Why? I could have said Chelsea.
No, you weren't going to say Chelsea, were you?
Well, why have you obviously got to go for Barca?
Well, because they are the massive favourites to go through.
According to you.
Everyone.
Massive.
Of course. They're massive favourites, aren't they?
What does that mean, massive favourites?
They are long odds on to go through.
Long odds on? Right, OK. I'll agree with you then.
Right.
Yeah, they are massive favourites.
Of course they are.
Ah, you're right.
Right.
How we get here? How we get here?
I'm trying to put words in my mouth.
Juve Spurs.
Juve Spurs. That's a tough one.
Stop thinking about it.
Well, I'm not under it. I'm not under any sort of pressure to give you an answer, am I?
Well, it's your job, isn't it?
Well, but have you got the clock on? Are you timing me?
Well, it depends. I'd like to go home at some stage.
Well, you can ask Jack or something then while I'm thinking about it.
I've already asked you 2 questions you're thinking about.
No, it's not. I told you Barcelona would win.
Game of the weekend.
Game of the weekend?
Yes.
Oh, definitely Real Madrid.
What a nonsense. My crikey. Ah, dear.
Shaka,
I don't want to ask Jack what his game of the weekend
Juventus or
is.
Spurs? Gav, Juventus or Spurs? We've got somebody that at least
to
can
go
give us
through?
an answer. Yeah.
This game's not for another what, 2 weeks now? I think we have plenty of time to talk about it.
Plenty of time to
Let's
do
wait and
what?
see who's injured, who's fit, how they're going.
How are you going tonight?
Let's talk about the most exciting game from the weekend.
What was your most exciting game, Gav?
Real Madrid, a very good show. It's true that there weren't that many super exciting games. I really enjoyed the Borussia Mönchengladbach Borussia Dortmund game.
What was wrong with the pitch,
winning
Gav?
1-0,
Why was the
and then
pitch
Marco
so
Reus.
bad? You know these things. It was awful.
I don't know why the pitch was so bad. Maybe some bad weather in Gladbach.
Well, don't guess if you
Beats
don't
me.
know.
I also enjoyed Benevento and Crotone. Little Benevento still hoping after starting the season out with 1 million consecutive losses, give or take.
What about Rochdale?
Tottenham. And that was a cracker as well.
Rochdale, Tottenham?
That was lots of drama in that one. Tottenham horrendous, I thought, in the first half.
we
But we all root for the underdog.
How many games did you watch this weekend? Can you count them
This is
all?
what I get paid to do. I have 4 televisions in my office, and I watch what I can watch.
4 at one time. You watch
Yes.
4 tellies at one time.
Where are you looking, Stevie?
Which one of Gav's TVs? Which one of Gav's TVs?
I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 tellies, and I don't know which one to look at. So how do you do it?
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm going to move this on because it's Gab. Why is Napoli Stadium never full?
Because it's a very big stadium, and one of the big problems is the lower tier. I think São Paulo seats like
Wembley holds 80,000 and they sell it, and it's a big stadium.
Well, Wembley's in London, which is in a different place, and Tottenham are a different team. And Wembley was rebuilt, like 10 years ago, whereas the São Paulo looks like some sort of weirdo ruin from Etruscan times. And if you sit in the bottom tier at the São Paulo, and I have done that, you cannot see anything at all.
That's a
and
good
so,
reason.
Napoli, not a particularly wealthy city, unlike London, and I think they do extremely well to draw the 35,000, 40,000 that they average, and it gets more for big games. But why somebody should go and sit in the bottom tier of the stadium where you literally cannot see anything because you're about 2.5 miles away from the edge of the pitch, and there's some fool in front of you, and every seat is basically obstructed. I don't know. Maybe that's fun for some people, but it's not fun for Neapolitans, and I certainly don't blame them.
Good answer.
Gab, have you sat in the front row at Napoli?
I sat in the bottom tier in Napoli, yes.
Right, and you couldn't
As
see
a
the
fan,
game?
as a paying customer.
And you couldn't see the game?
It's really horrendous because it's the way it's built.
Did you see the game?
It's really, really low. So all you can see is in the distance is the winger on your side of the pitch. You cannot see what happens in other areas of the pitch.
Why are you picking on Gab? I'm saying
I'm
like a
not
nice
picking on Gab. I just think it's
explanation.
a strange reason that the stadium's old. That's why people don't go.
Well, they do go. You just can't see them.
The stadium's so
see what
big that they don't all
You
need
can't
to
see
sit
them
in the
because the bit
bottom
on
tier.
the TV is the lower tier. That's kind of the main bit. So everyone goes, oh, look, there's no one there, but there is lots of people there.
All right, well, that takes care of 10,000. So you've got another, what, 60,000?
Well, you said they got 35 to 40,000.
Oh, so there's still 25,000, Martin.
Well, it's still quite a lot, isn't it? Is it completely insane to say Brendan Rodgers should at least be considered to replace Emery at PSG? What? He didn't, I think.
Hold on, did you hear what he said last week?
What did he say last week?
Well, Brendan Rodgers, at the start of the Champions League campaign before the group stages, said that he thinks Celtic are now prepared to fight it out with the big boys.
Right.
Last week, before the Europa League game, he said Celtic fans need to dull down their expectations in the Europa League Cup. Hey? Explain that one to me.
I don't think he's
Brendan.
watching. Shaka, I assume you are predicting Shakhtar to beat Roma because your recent power rankings have Shakhtar above Roma.
Good job you told him that, by the way. Because he might not have
No,
known.
he would have had, he's had a nightmare with his power rankings.
might not have known that.
They've been spot on.
He's away for
You should
2
have said
weeks.
who's above who.
Yes, I'm picking Shakhtar to beat Roma.
Why are you doing it in that weird
Why?
way?
Why?
What is it about Shakhtar you think that gives them the edge? Which player of his would be key?
They're a very good team.
Oh dear.
What a silly segment. Stevie, which camera are you going to look at to say goodbye?
Oh no. There's one over there. There's one there. And there's two over there. Which one do you want?
I don't know, Stevie. It seems to be a roulette with you. ESPN FC is
Look at the
back
one with the
tomorrow.
light. Look at the one with the light.
Yeah, the one with the light on.
He's got a red light on it.
Manchester United, no, it's not Manchester United. Manchester City against Wigan, isn't it? Tomorrow in the FA Cup. Highlights of that. ESPN FC.
If you want entertainment, if you want goals, you don't need to go further than Anfield for the front three of Salah, Mane and Firmino. But you're glad you're not trying to face them as a goalkeeper because there's something special, aren't
Yeah, thankfully I didn't have to face too many front threes and certainly none of this quality. But you kind of saw this in the making with Liverpool. You know what Jurgen Klopp is about. You saw that at Dortmund. And it took him a bit of time to get it right at Liverpool, but I think he's done so. There were question marks at the start of the season whether Mo Salah would fit in, whether he would feature alongside Mane, Firmino and Coutinho. But he's been outstanding, and I think one of the things you maybe still don't appreciate about Mo Salah is his work rate off the ball. As good as his goals have been, as good as he's been to watch, how he's able to drop deep, how he's able to complement Sadio Mane in that respect, in launching the counter-attacks that have seen this Liverpool front three be as fearsome as any in European football.
When you played, you faced a lot of good striking duos. You played with a lot of good striking duos as well. But I want to take a look at front threes in European football right now, because the three that we mentioned, Salah, Firmino and Mane, they lead the way with 53. However, I'm giving you a blank checkbook, which a Scotsman very rarely does to anybody, okay? And I'm saying to you, you can have one of those 5 trios. What one are you taking?
Well, quite simply, if I had to have one of those 5 trios to play right now in a game this weekend, I would go with the ones that are highlighted, Messi, Suarez and Coutinho. And I think you cannot discount how good Lionel Messi is and how much he brings to the table. Alongside the likes of Suarez, who I think is just finding his feet this season, Coutinho is finding his own strides in this Barcelona lineup. And I think it's frightening to think as to how good they can be. What you have seen from this Barcelona team, and maybe, again, you don't appreciate the role that the front three plays in that, is how much more balanced Barcelona are than they were last season. You lose Neymar and you thought, oh no, there goes the future of Barcelona, there goes a big part of what made them successful over recent years. And now all of a sudden, statistically speaking, Barcelona are far better than they were 12 months ago on both sides of the ball. I think that goes down again to the players that they have, but most importantly for me, how good Messi has been in handling that transition.
By the way, I'm happy to take silver medal and take Salah, Firmino and Mane off your hands. You can have yours, and I'd be happy with that as well. Just finally, I want to touch on 2 of the other trios that we mentioned. One includes Ronaldo and one includes Neymar. Now, in midweek, there were no completed passes between Ronaldo and Benzema. In midweek, there were no completed passes between Neymar and Cavani. They're wonderful talents, but are they too individualistic for you?
It's different ends of the spectrum for those two, well, those duos in their front threes. You've seen the success of Ronaldo and Benzema combinations. I think that is coming to an end. You know,
he's not scoring much this
No,
season.
he's not. Listen, it happens to every single player. It comes to, and so no disrespect to either of those two, but I think they're on the wrong ends of their respective careers, and as a result, their partnerships, or certainly the statistics, are waning. The other, you expected more from Cavani and Neymar. Cavani, who played second fiddle so long to Ibrahimovic, who looked so good last season, and then Neymar coming in, but you can see the disconnect. And I think those problems are deeper than just on the park. That is a bigger concern for me.
So Xhaka's got Messi, Suarez and Coutinho as his best 3. I'd take that as well, but I'm not allowed to because he's got it. So I'm having Salah, I'm having Firmino and I'm having Mane.